Welcome back to part 2. Now that we have our 3 pillars, verifiability, context, and perspective, it's time to put them to work. We're going to look at 3 legendary cases where the facts tell a very different story than the popular myths. First, the Library of Alexandria. The myth is a single catastrophic fire that wiped out the world's knowledge in an instant. But the facts show a slow, centuries-long decay caused by budget cuts, civil unrest, and changing priorities. Knowledge didn't burn, it was neglected. This truth is more vital today than ever. It teaches us that knowledge isn't lost by accident. It's lost through a lack of collective will to protect it. Next, the Maya. We're often told they disappeared or vanished into the jungle, leaving behind empty cities. The facts? They never vanished. Millions of Maya people still live in Central America today, keeping their languages and traditions alive. It wasn't a disappearance, it was a relocation, a shift from city-states to rural communities due to drought and political collapse. The people remained. Modern LiDAR technology has proven this, revealing thousands of hidden structures that show just how massive and interconnected their world really was. Our third case, the Industrial Revolution. We view it as a time of pure progress, the birth of the modern world. But the primary sources, the letters of factory workers and the medical records of children, reveal a brutal human cost that the official progress narrative often hides. To find the truth, we must balance the macroeconomic data with the micro-histories of the people who lived through it. Sometimes truth validates the myth. For centuries, Troy was considered a fairy tale until archaeology found the literal foundations of the city. These case studies show us that when we anchor ourselves in physical evidence, the world becomes clearer, even if it becomes more complex. As a neuropsychologist, I find it fascinating how our brains cling to the simple story because it saves energy. Complexity feels like a threat. But growth happens when we embrace the threat of complexity. When we look at the facts and say, I was wrong. Historical facts are the gym for your critical thinking skills. They force you to question your assumptions every single day. Take the Silk Road again. It wasn't just silk and spices, it was the exchange of mathematics, medicine, and philosophy that formed the bedrock of the Renaissance. Facts show us that we have never been isolated. We have always been a deeply interconnected species, trading ideas as much as goods. When you see the truth of our interconnected past, it's impossible to view the present through a lens of us versus them. And we must include oral traditions. In many cultures, oral history is a rigorous, peer-reviewed system of fact-keeping that spans millennia. When compared with modern DNA and climate data, these stories often reveal precise historical truths that Western science is only just beginning to verify. This is how we awaken the mind, by broadening our definition of evidence while maintaining our standard for truth. Think of Mansa Musa. His 14th century pilgrimage wasn't just a religious journey, it was an economic event so massive it reshaped the Mediterranean economy for a decade. The facts of his wealth and his patronage of Timbuktu challenge every common myth about the history of the African continent. This is how we map the life of our global family, by bringing these forgotten realities into the light. The Stoics believed that truth is a mirror. It shows us not just the world, but our own place within it. It demands honesty. Resilience isn't just about surviving. It's about standing on ground that cannot be washed away by the tides of propaganda or fear. In our part 1, we talked about global risks. The greatest risk we face today is the loss of our shared reality, our shared facts. If we cannot agree on the facts of the past, we will never find common ground for the future. History is the bridge. Choosing the path of the scholar, of the truth seeker, is a radical act of hope. It's an investment in a better tomorrow. Just as you build an emergency fund for your finances, you must build an emergency fund of truth for your mind, a reserve of facts you can rely on. When the world feels chaotic and the headlines shift, your grounding in historical reality will keep you from panic. It will keep you resilient. Your mind is your most valuable asset. Protect it with the currency of truth. Never trade it for a comfortable lie. We've applied our pillars to the past. In our final chapter, part 3, we'll look at the future. how technology is changing our quest for truth. From AI to deep-sea archaeology, the bedrock of history is expanding. Join us as we explore what's next. The journey for truth never ends. It only grows deeper. Let's keep exploring the bedrock of reality together. The facts are your power. Use them to build a life of brilliance and clarity. I'll see you in part 3. Remember, seeking the truth is the ultimate map for your life. Never stop mapping, never stop growing. Join the collective. Ensure you like, comment, share, and subscribe. Grow with us.